5 games this college football season that will absolutely throw the 12-team playoff out of whack. And I will go on and tell you, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Texas will miss the college football playoff.
All three of them will miss. Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Texas.
So you're predicting that today, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Texas, all three.
And I'm going to give you the key games that will cost them. We're going to start August 31st, 2 weeks from Saturday, College Station, number 7 Notre Dame, number 20 Texas A&M. A&M right now a 2.5-point favorite. I think this number will tick up a little bit based on some of the injuries from the Irish. Here are key things to look at. Mike Elko is taking over a program that's got a lot of talent. And if we go back last year, Duke was hosting Notre Dame. Duke had them on the ropes. Notre Dame was 4th and forever. They convert. They score a touchdown. Riley Leonard has to come back on the field. He gets hurt. Season is derailed. Before he gets hurt, though, Mike Elko's defense against Notre Dame's offense held Notre Dame to 2 of 15 on third downs. Now Mike Elko, as a head coach, will go back against this offense against his former quarterback in Riley Leonard. He knows the pros and cons of Leonard. I think Leonard's going to have a long day. I think Connor Wegman has a coming-out party. I think A&M wins that game. And don't sleep on this. Now, if the Irish win, they're probably going to be 8-0, hosting Florida State and South Bend on November 9th. But if A&M wins this game on the 31st, they could be favored in their next 10 games leading up to the final game against Texas.
Which you have already circled.
So I think that loss, people will look back and be like, that's the loss that cost Notre Dame and maybe propelled A&M to a different situation.
While you're on that, side note, Notre Dame sent to all their students in an email, final exams, a new date, ending final exams. It'll end on Thursday, December the 19th, and it says in there, we're moving exam dates so that the college football playoffs start on Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st. So students, if they want to attend the college football playoffs, they don't have to worry about exams. If we're hosting a playoff game, we don't have to worry about exams going on Friday, a crazy weekend on campus. So final exams end on Notre Dame. They changed the date yesterday, December 19th, for them to be in the playoffs. They changed the date for no reason, according to LT.
I think a two-loss Notre Dame team would be a fascinating study, because when you start looking at a 2-loss Notre Dame team, it's likely that it's going to be one of these 3 teams, or 2 of these 3 teams, their losses. At Texas A&M, Florida State at home, or at USC. That's probably their 3 toughest games.
And Louisville might be. I know that game's in South Bend.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame does lose this game week 1, they better hope that there are some other good teams on this schedule ending up being good, as in Louisville and USC.
Because 2-loss Notre Dame, if it's 2 of those 3 teams, they've got 1 ranked win, and that may not even be the case, right? I mean, that's assuming let's say USC's the win. USC's in the bottom of the top 25 right now, assuming they stay there.
Yeah, and what continues the fascinating story is, Notre Dame has signed off to get us to this point, so you want to, give them some leeway to keep them in it,
I guess.
But also, if you're the Big Ten and you want to ever force them to join the conference, leaving 10-2 Notre Dame out, if you're not pulling any strings trying to help them get in, if you want to help them join your conference, you could also throw some roadblocks up.
That's just, if you've only got 1 ranked win and you're a 10-2 team, that is a hard case to make to me, but it is Notre Dame.
Now, with the expansion of the playoffs to 12, now we've got a Group 5 that will automatically be in this postseason field, which I like. A lot of people don't. A lot of people look to Boise State, but others look to Liberty based on schedule. So I'm going to jump ahead to Week 5, September 28th. If I asked you guys this question, what is the winningest program over the last decade to not make the college football playoff?
Winningest program over the last decade not to make the college football playoff? I am going to say that team is James Madison.
They haven't been Division I for 5 years, though, have they? Or they haven't been FBS for 5 years.
He didn't say that. He said winning.
He did say that, but I assume to make the playoffs, they got to be in the FBS. Appalachian State.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean,
September 28th, Week 5, Kidd Brewer Stadium, Boone, North Carolina. Appalachian State out of the Sun Belt, Liberty now in Conference USA. This is by far their most difficult game. They are the winningest program to not make the college football playoff. They've won 95 games over the last decade. Sean Clark is going into year 5, and Joey Aguilar is a really good quarterback that nobody talks about. 6'3", 220 pounds. He can run it.
8-5 last year, though, right?
3,700 yards passing, 33 touchdowns. They will be better this year. This is a game that Liberty, I think, will be a slight underdog. One loss, we know Liberty's out based on that schedule. So I think this will shake Liberty, and I think it will define somebody else from the Group 5.
If Liberty is the team that's in the playoffs, I'm okay with somebody saying they did it with Hugh Freeze's players. I mean, he brought some talent in while he was there.
Week 10. Now, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you know that it is college football playoff or bust, coming off 11 wins.
It should be your
in school
expectation,
history.
yep.
Week 10, Ole Miss travels to Fayetteville. And, Brown, I think you brought this game up before.
Crap, yeah.
Now, if you look at Ole Miss, they're listed as a 7-point favorite in that game right now. 27-20, they won in Oxford last year. But if you look at the 4 meetings that Sam Pittman has been the head coach, they have struggled with Arkansas. It's been a 2-2 split. Sam Pittman has actually outscored the Rebels 146 to 127 in those 4 years. I personally think Sam Pittman will be out. Bobby Petrino will be the guy in this. But leave it to Lane Kiffin. He's going to have to shit the bed in the game for Ole Miss not to make the college football playoff. And I think it's against Arkansas November 2nd.
All right, so we're into November with Arkansas, and the reason we were talking about that was the natural time to fire Sam Pittman if it's not going well is during a bye week. That comes either before the LSU game or before the Texas game. If it's midseason, it's before the LSU game, and we were talking about how could Bobby Petrino earn the job full time. Well, he's got some winnable games after that bye week. Mississippi State on the road, La Tech at home. And we said if he could pick off one of these, he might get the job. LSU at home, Ole Miss at home, Texas at home, or at Missouri. Pick off one of those. You finish still 3-4, but you've shown signs of improvement. It might get him the job. You say it would be Ole Miss right there. And I don't know if that's enough to get him the job or not, but that would be fascinating. Where does that fall for?
We move forward.
Well, hang on. I was going to see where it fell for Ole Miss. Oh, my gosh. Have you looked at this, where it falls for Ole Miss? Yeah. Did you say that?
No, but that was part of it.
Yeah. It's right between Oklahoma and Georgia. Road trip. That is
Oklahoma on the front side, Georgia on the back side.
Classic trap game.
2 home games, too. Oklahoma and Georgia at home, and you're traveling to Arkansas. Oh, that is classic.
And
trap
Arkansas
game.
is going to be one of those teams that probably only wins 4 or 5 games. But I think Arkansas is going to be a difficult out. And for whatever reason, that has been an incredible game over the last 4 years.
Their quarterback is from where? Because Jacoby Criswell.
Taylor Green, Boise State.
Boise State, right. Jacoby's battling at North Carolina, not going to win the job, it doesn't look like. And then Jefferson is at UCF.
Yes.
Okay.
Week 11, November 9th, the Tiger Sooner Peace Pipe is back.
Love the Peace Pipe.
Now, if you guys didn't realize what the Tiger Sooner Peace Pipe series was, I didn't really either. Don't remember this out of the Big 12. I do remember the complete domination by Oklahoma going back the last time they played 2011. They won 20 of the last 22. Missouri right now listed as a 3.5-point favorite here. Missouri, I just can't see a world where they're in a college football playoff. Their schedule has been official, but one of the games they can't lose is at home in Columbia. I think Oklahoma rolls in and beats them.
Yeah,
I think by that time, Jackson Arnold is really settled down.
Coming off a bye for Missouri, so they're coming off a bye for that game after they have played Alabama. Alabama bye week host Oklahoma. At Alabama bye week host Oklahoma for them.
Announcement today, complete sellout for Missouri games.
I mean,
games.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah. We expect Missouri to lose to Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And if they lose one other game, I think they're on the cusp at 10-2.
I agree completely because, again, it's back to the same thing with Notre Dame. You wouldn't have a whole lot of great wins to hang your hat on. We've talked about how beneficial that Missouri schedule is. That cuts both ways. You lose 2 games, you don't have a ton to hang your hat on.
And you've got to be lucky and healthy. Missouri, as Brown said yesterday, lost Smith at her defensive end. The guy came from Georgia. Reading more into that, we didn't know what kind of impact he was having. He was going to be rotating at the position like most of those guys do, but he was getting rave reviews from practice before that injury. He's out for the year.
Hate that.
So we started this list, 5 games that will throw the college football playoff out of whack. We started in College Station week 1. We end in College Station rivalry week, November 30th. I will stick to this. I think Texas, with that schedule, is going to roll into College Station at 9-2, win in, lose, they're out. That place is going to be just completely bonkers. And, we've talked to different people from Chip Brown that say there's no way A&M fans are selling their tickets. First matchup since 2011. Texas right now is a 3.5-point favorite. Offshore books, I think that number comes down. I think A&M actually beats them, and I think that's the third loss, and I think Texas is on the outside looking in. And I don't think any SEC fan base outside of Texas is going to be upset about that.
Nope, not one bit.
And I think most SEC fans would be excited about that because then it's like,
Welcome
you boys came into our league, and Texas and Oklahoma, neither one of you made the playoffs. Blah 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 blah. They would love that. So I think most SEC fans would be fired up about that.
And I'll give the Associated Press coaches poll credit because A&M and Oklahoma are both in this poll. I think A&M people are sleeping on A&M, and I think Oklahoma's really good. I just think their schedule's brutal. Again, Oklahoma could go 6-6, have 2 top 10 wins, and still be 6-6.
We had them in our 40 and 40 at number 24. All of you guys who voted on that, at 24 Texas A&M, and we had Oklahoma at 15. So we were about in the right neighborhood with Oklahoma, a little lower on Texas A&M, but we had them both ranked.
Yeah, and
as well.
I think Oklahoma might talent-wise be a top 15 team. I don't think there's any way. And, we had Reese Davis on the show yesterday, and he said typically good teams, they don't find losses, they find wins. But I think with Oklahoma's schedule, I think it's asking a lot for them to navigate a 9-3.